All right, our next interview is going to be with Dave Ginder, alumni of Carroll High School and longstanding baseball head coach here of the Carroll Chargers. Outstanding coach. Him and his staff have had outstanding teams, sectional teams, regional teams, semi-state. They've even won state twice. So it's going to be a good interview here with Dave Ginder. All right, welcome to our next edition of Charging into the Future. I'm interviewing here Dave Ginder, head coach, Carroll Chargers. Been with Carroll Baseball for a long time. He's an alumni of Carroll High School. When did you graduate?
1991.
1991. Who was your coach?
Chris Adams.
Chris Adams.
Well, Jim Potter for one season.
Okay.
And then Chris Adams came my sophomore year, and Chris kind of changed our program in a different direction.
Yeah.
So he gets a lot of credit for the success we've had.
Right, and we've always been pretty successful here at Carroll High School. At least I know for the last 35, 40 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
But Dave's going to show us a little bit about Carroll history with some of the alumni of Carroll High School. So tell me about the plaques that you have here.
Just a project we started. It started as a fundraiser a couple years ago, and call them Dugout Tags, just to try to hit up some alumni. Purchased a tag, and it helped us purchase a couple pitching machines and just kind of support our program. And we've got guys all the way from the first teams, Bill Gump, Tom West, Dale Warner. They were part of the original Carroll High School teams from the Arcola Huntertown days to Carroll High School, all the way up through current guys who've played and been a part of our program, and even have Steve Lubyhusen, athletic trainer from 1994 to current. He supported our program, has been a huge part of our program day in and day out, just from an athletic trainer standpoint. And
I'm glad to help support as well. So.
But just going down, looking at some of the names of guys that have been a part of our program and a lot of success that we've had.
I notice there's quite a few Ginders on here. We got a Park Ginder, a Dan Ginder, a Dave Ginder.
They were forced to buy a tag for some reason.
It was
but like Joe Rudolph, played with Joe my freshman year, and then he was been a part of our program, coaching for a long time. Now is a defensive coordinator in our football program. So Joe's been a huge part of Carroll High School. A lot of names that have been part of our history of Max, even like Robbie Goodman was a principal at one of our middle schools here recently. All the way down to guys like Alex Brown, who was a part of our program from a manager starting point, into this day still is a part of our program, was a student in starting in 99.
It's kind of neat. You got a father and son kind of connection here.
That's right.
You got Kevin Irons.
Kevin played. I played with Kevin for a few years. Kevin came back and was an assistant for a while with Chris, and now we have Carter in our program. So maybe that just means we're old, as alumni. Maybe that's what that means.
You got a couple brothers here, Jimmy and Andy Papagiannis.
Yep, and I think Jimmy's coaching volleyball for us. Yes. And Andy's coaching our football program, and actually he was an assistant for a while with us also, but is the offensive coordinator in our football program. So a lot of connections between programs and in the history of Carroll High School. Just going down through other names that we see here, Dom Spadafora, Dominic Catanzarite, Cam Ginder, Brad Murphy. There was a group of guys there that I think back that they were probably the most competitive group. They would argue about stuff all the time, and they may have known that they were not correct, but they would still fight tooth and nail just so they could try to prove each other wrong. But they're a very competitive group.
Couple sectionals probably with those guys, regional.
Yeah, and a lot of successful guys. Brad and Cam are successful attorneys around the Midwest, and Andy McManamall has been a part of baseball community at the World Baseball Academy, and a assistant with our program as well over the years. Justin Glass had a lot of success at the University of Cincinnati. Now teaches lessons and does an incredible job with high school kids and younger in the baseball community.
Living down in Indianapolis, isn't he?
He's actually in Fort Wayne.
Okay. Back here.
He was in Indianapolis for a while, but he's back in Fort Wayne with the new program. Guys like Elliott Ford was our catcher on our two state teams, and now he's a JV coach. And he's been a huge addition to our program over the last few years. And all the way down to current guys. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to get connections with alumni to guys who've been more recent and connections that I've had. But anybody that's, alumni that's interested to know more, to get their name on, a dugout tag and support our program, would love to talk to you. We got Hayden Jones, had a lot of success at the high school level, was an Indiana North-South All-Star player. We've had, I think, 15 or 16 of those. But he played in the Reds organization for a few years as a catcher, and then now is back in the area doing lessons and coaching. But just a lot of neat names and a lot of memories, a lot of memories that come back when these guys, you see their names, and we talk about a lot of them to our kids. So it's kind of neat that they can kind of see where they fell in our program.
College level, you've got a lot of these players that went off and played at a lot of different schools, whether it's Huntington or whether it's Manchester or whether it's IWU or whether it's, a lot of different schools around here in the Midwest, and even some big time, Division I schools as well.
Yeah, a variety of, we've had a lot of kids go on to play at the next level, which is fun to watch, just to be a small part of their journey along the way. And just even guys like Ryan Schwab, who've been a part of our program, Jason Lance and Brett Windmiller, they've been with me a long time as an assistant, and although not maybe NACS graduates, have been a huge part and are loyal to our program, and they would call this home now.
They bleed blue.
Yeah, and couldn't do it without them. And then even a tag from each of the head coaches that we've had over the years. Started with Clark Staley and Herm Moyer, Jim Potter, Chris Adams, and then myself. Those are all the head coaches that we've had over the years.
So Carroll Baseball is well known around the state. And part of that is because you like to play teams that are all over the state. You want to play who's best.
That's right.
And you want to take your boys and take the team and face the toughest competition that you can, and you're willing to travel 4 hours down to Louisville, Jeffersonville. You're willing to drive to the other side of the state, and you're willing to, whenever a team calls up and says, hey, we want to play the Carroll Chargers because we know they're a state quality team. You've won state twice. We've been to state 3 times. Always in the mix when it comes to sectionals and regionals and that type of stuff. And so what does it mean playing, the better schools in the area and the state?
It makes it enjoyable just from a competitiveness side of things. And I think it forces our kids to compete at a higher level, and they learn some things that they don't know about themselves along the way, is kind of our hope as coaches. But I'm proud of the guys who've been a part of our program and what they've done, and look forward to our future.
Yeah, that's great. And one other thing about this place, the facility that we have here, I'll show a couple pictures of the field and everything like that. But how long has this field been in place
I think the first year was played on was 97, I think. Okay. It was part of that edition. But we've been blessed with a lot of beautiful facilities. And so it's a lot of work. It's kind of a hobby of mine that spent a lot of time out here. So I enjoy it.
So thank you very much. Appreciate the update on the things. And again, if you want to buy one of those tags and you're a Carroll Baseball alum and you want to help support the program, please contact Dave Ginder, send him an email or contact him, and do that as well. Thanks.
Go Chargers.
Go Chargers.